So first of all, working at Google, you're positioned in a specific product team, just like you're studying at a specific major. So there are two things that you would get from this experience. One is the environment that you're working in day to day or studying in day to day, which is a degree or the product. And at the same time, you will get influenced a lot by people who are studying in other departments or people who are working in other products at Google, right? So in my own team, basically, there are a lot of things to learn. You gradually became a domain expert in whatever that you're working on. For example, I'm currently at YouTube. So I'm getting more and more familiar with how the whole Web 2 thing works, right? How users are interacting with our products, what kind of things are really important to our creators and our merchants. How do we make sure that the viewers still trust YouTube platform, stuff like that. You become more and more into this specific domain. While at the same time, you gain a lot from talking to people who work in Waymo, Google Assistant, people who are at Google Brain, and those are totally different worlds. And these kind of advantages only happen at big companies. Let's say, for example, if you work at, you worked at YouTube before YouTube was acquired at Google. You will be only focusing on videos. But once YouTube is acquired by Google, you kind of are, having lunch at the same place with all of those kind of folks who are in search, in ads, and everything. But yeah, that's a very cool part.
So very large scope. And then you get it into basically see all parts of the Google business.
Exactly. But at the same time, things are slow. In order to launch something, there's so many design reviews, so many process to go through. And when you want to launch something, so many stakeholders to work with, which is great. Like you practice a lot of your stakeholder management skills, but you might not see, like super fast iteration on the features that you want to build immediately.
Makes sense. And you don't like that? I mean,
I think it's good. Every experience matters.
Before YouTube team, you were at what?
Android.
What's the diff between the two teams?
I think
in terms of workplace, yeah.
The nature of Android is that it is an open source platform. So all of the applications that Android are kind of more technical to some extent. And the data that you're analyzing, because I'm a data scientist, are kind of closer to the back-end side of things. Whereas at YouTube, because it's very consumer-facing or merchant-facing, and YouTube itself is an ads-driven company, things are a lot more businessy compared to Android. While at the same time, YouTube has really great talents who built the tech infrastructure super solidly maybe 10 years ago, and now we just got to focus on the exact business or data problem that our creators or viewers or merchants are facing. Whereas at Android, you probably like tech challenges are happening every day because it's by nature not a ads-driven or business-driven corp. It has more tech culture embedded in it, I would say.
Wait, so in terms of the objectives of the data science team, what's the difference between the two?
There's not much difference. Trying to, get insights from data to inform product decisions, inform whether it's worth it to launch a specific feature, whether it's worth it to, onboard a certain business partner.
And then what's the kind of data you work with on the Android team?
I was in this team called business messaging. Business messaging data is basically how often people use our messaging chat to talk to, say, Walmart, JetBlue, those kind of companies. And we try to see what kind of businesses, verticals would love to work with the Android messaging APIs. We actually have a lot of developer advocates or develop relationships engineers on our team because they really need to work with those companies to adopt our APIs. So a lot of data analysis actually were related to onboarding those clients. Was the onboarding experience okay? Did people enjoy the developer experience? And eventually at the bottom of the funnel, did users enjoy the experience? It's still businessy, but that part does not drive a whole bunch of money like YouTube ads. So
nothing drives money.
Maybe it's Google search ads.
Seems like fun.
It was okay. So far, so good.
So if you got to choose, which Google product would you most want to work on?
I really wanted to work at Waymo before.
Why?
Because I feel like Waymo cars are everywhere in San Francisco. I want to be part of it. I want to know how reliable their current sensors are, their cars, their self-driving systems, stuff like that. But unfortunately, they're not hiring back then.
What would be your second choice then?
Second choice would be Area 120, which is the internal incubator at Google. They really encourage people to pitch your idea, find your team, build your product, use Google Cloud, and potentially think about how you might monetize through not just ads, but like everything. So yeah, Area 120 is a very cool place, just like the Y Combinator, but then it's sponsored by Google. And the only downside is that it's not your company. It's all of the work that you do, even though you're the founder or CEO, belongs to Google. Eventually, you need to, we call it graduate. Your team needs to graduate into another org. Say YouTube will buy you, or Google Search will internalize you. And they'll buy you? Or buy as in they will sponsor you guys' headcounts.
Very valid. Because you don't own it.
For people who are looking into stability and entrepreneurship at the same time, it's a pretty good deal.
Good point.
It's just that recently, because of the economy is going
shit.
Yeah, the economy is shit. So these kind of innovation is not growing as fast as before.
Got it.
Great conversation.
Horse.
All right, let's check out the horse and the birds.